Welcome to Game Rescue Show. We're here today to talk about some bullshit. We're going to rescue this crap, and you're going to like it. I am the greatest gamer of all time, Michael. And if you don't think that that's true, neither do I, and that's why my dad will never love me. Today, we're joined by everyone's favorite person, Seth Decker.
Wow, I hate that title. Please, not that. I don't want to be everyone's favorite. There's a few people I hate, and I don't want to be their favorite people.
Yep.
You're on that list.
Yep. Man, it's just like my father's in the room. And, of course, my favorite person, Jesse.
Oh, yes, I'm here. This one was my suggestion.
Why can't I get that title? What the fuck?
Yes. Today, we're talking about everyone's favorite video game, Cyberpunk 2077.
Everyone's favorite scam.
Listen,
No,
this
that's
is
not
a
scam.
topical episode. We are here on time for this conversation.
We got 1 month till this comes out, till the expansion comes out. So it's on brand.
The expansion is called Phantom Liberty. Ever heard of it? It stars Idris Elba.
They couldn't get Keanu Reeves back.
Oh no, he's in it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
I
want
also
more
just wanna point
celebrities to
out-
come in, you know?
Listen, I just want to point out, I called this game being a piece of shit.
You did.
I called it.
You did.
I
You
called
did.
it.
You did.
It is on my fucking YouTube. When they were doing that Night City bullshit, I said something's not right. Something doesn't smell right because they kept using the same bullshit B footage, not really talking about the game and talking around the game and using like star power to distract you. And you're like, oh, I'm so hyped for this game. I'm like, what are we hyped for? They haven't fucking talked about anything.
This is something that Seth has had a problem with, and I have a problem with too, is that I just want gameplay footage.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the pre-rendered cinematics. Just show me the gameplay.
And listen, they're cool. Like, I'm glad that people get jobs to make these pre-renders. I hope all their shit ends up on Netflix on Love, Death, and Robots. But, like, that's not gameplay, bitch. Show me what it looks like.
Yeah, like, I appreciate the effort put into making these things look as good as they can, but I can't play a cutscene. Unless it's a David Cage game.
Oh!
Damn. Shout out to David Cage. He's a piece of shit too.
Fuck him and fuck his games.
Yeah, everyone knows that he's only had one good game, and it was called Indigo Prophecy. Anyway,
Or Fahrenheit, if you're outside of America.
Fahrenheit.
Stupid title.
No, it's just that game. That game appropriately was like another reveal happened during the Xbox showcase, and I was rewatching. I was watching a drunk gameplay for Funhouse, and it was that E3, and I'm like, oh, I remember this E3. It's the E3 that Microsoft didn't even show gameplay for a game that was coming out 3 fucking months from that, and it was Gears of War. They didn't show any gameplay at this thing, and people were blowing them up like they had just reinvented the fucking wheel. And I actually think they're kind of the reason that this shit kind of exists. And it's so frustrating because if you look at like some of the games that either haven't really done trailers or all they show you is gameplay, and then they get mercilessly shit on by it. And like Final Fantasy 16 is the most recent example where they kind of blended it a little bit of both, where they gave you these beautiful, incredible cinematic trailers, but then you get the game, you're like, oh, that's actually in the fucking game. And so it's a little easier of a pill to swallow when you actually get the game and you remember the trailers and you're like, oh shit, that was fucking right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But where does Baldur's Gate 3 fall into this? That's been like the big thing where it's like, hey, this is what games are supposed to be. It's like I didn't see any trailers at all before that game came out, but I'm watching gameplay footage. I'm like, wow, this looks really fun. I'm waiting for the PS5 version because I don't have a PC that can run that thing, but I'm really interested in getting it.
That one kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like it's been really word of mouth how it got popular. Was I think a lot of people that have been sick of these kinds of tricks in the industry coming back and going, hey, dude, Baldur's Gate's actually like a good game. Like you get the whole game.
No all launch day DLC. No microtransactions. The game is done when it's finished.
Well, so
it's done when it's released. It's like
So
it's not a bullshit. It's not a bullshit scam. Like it's just like, hey,
technically-
we made a game for you.
Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for about 18 months,
Oh,
I want to say,
wow.
on Steam. So
Okay.
it's been around for a bit, and that's honestly, I think we need to get back to I think early access at times can help if the
Yeah.
developer is actually listening, which Larian
Yeah.
clearly was listening to their community, because when that game came out, it was a little broken. It ain't broken now. In fact, it's
Yeah.
came out of nowhere and it's probably the game of the year. Like, I don't think anything is as close to this game. Like, sorry, Nintendo fanboys, your game is at best second. To me, it's third. But Baldur's Gate 3 is that game that was like, listen, we're not gonna really shot. I think they had like 1 or 2 trailers before early access started, and then early access started, so you got to actually play what they were doing. And it's such a breath of fresh air. And then I just keep seeing other things revealed. Like, I just found out yesterday, which got me even more excited for the PS5 version of Baldur's Gate, is that the controller, when you're playing with a controller in Baldur's Gate, the camera comes down and is way more personalized.
Oh.
And so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And then there's Cyberpunk, who made excuses as to why their camera was first person, and then took all of those fucking things out of the final project.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The wall running, all of that shit. They made up all these reasons during this like behind closed doors showing of this game that we got like 9 months later. And they kept making excuses in this, like, oh, well, it has to be third person because of the wall running and because of this and because of that. I'm like, yeah, because Prince of Persia did third person wall running like only like 15 years ago.
Right.
That was red flag number 1 for me. When they kept making up fucking excuses why their camera had to be third person.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and then you get the game and all of it's gone.
We're at the segment now where I get to review one. I have a lot of weird ass games. These aren't even weird. But why Cyberpunk was a disappointment and why people really need to play more than just the fucking biggest games that come out is Watch Dogs fucking 2 did all of this before, had a better world, had way better mechanics around stealth and not being in combat, and had an incredibly well-balanced story about white hatting and black hatting and moral rights and wrongs. Fucking incredible game. Easily the best Watch Dogs game, which is not hard because 1 sucks, and don't get me started on that other one. I don't even want to say its goddamn name. But 2 is so incredible with everything you can do with the customization of not just your weapons, but also your person. The environment of San Francisco feels so alive and full, and all the mini games, all the extra stuff you can do, all the extra characters, everything about that game feels perfect. And then you get Cyberpunk, you're like, this is half of that. Hell,
yeah.
Next game, Deus Ex. Fucking the new 2 Deus Ex, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, all did everything Cyberpunk did, except had a way better storyline.
Yeah. Even the original Deus Ex from like the 90s has a better story and is more interesting. It's like all this stuff.
Fucking
like the biggest issue with Cyberpunk for me is that it's called Cyberpunk. So that means it's the peak of this. Like it's this thing. Like everything. But the problem is like you did it half-assed.
It was very half-assed.
You know, and the world of Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't feel real to me.
Yeah.
The thing that I liked, it doesn't feel real. Like the thing about Deus Ex that I liked is that it still felt like, oh, it's just kind of like, postmodernist America. It's like, oh, we have bio-augmentations, but you still have to put gas in your car to go to work.
Well, that was they took that. That's the reason why I like those 2 games as well. And it reminds me of an anime, Gundam 00, which is set in like 2300 Anno Domini.
You are the only person that's ever watched this.
It has that very like, hey, there's fucking mechs, but also we're still dealing with like an energy crisis.
Yeah.
And they're like it's like, oh, this is a conversation that kind of makes sense. And even though we're 200 years in the future, they're talking about geopolitical wars that are happening in the 2300s. that logically makes sense from our standpoint. 300 years prior to that, there's none of that in this game.
Yeah. It's like, what is the world outside of Night City?
Ooh, could we please have anywhere else to go outside of Night City?
Yeah, like the most you get is the desert, which is barren. There's
Like,
nothing out there.
Like, give me the War of Two Cities at least. Like,
that's apparently what GTA 6 is supposed to be. It's all the lower half of Florida. All of it. It's all lower half of Florida. It's a massive
map's
location.
Going to change, grow, and be altered by like weather.
Yeah, like
whoa.
The world itself of Cyberpunk doesn't feel alive. And this goes into a problem with just the game itself. It's too big. It's too big for its I'm really tired of having to see games that require a NASA supercomputer to run them. It's like, it just, when the specs for this came out, they're like, why is this so fucking huge? It's like,
for them, it's dong physics, man.
That's the thing. Like, all this bullshit, this extraneous crap. It's just like, oh, you get like, there's trash all over the streets. But so what? So what? I'm gonna look at that? Like, I'm gonna care? Like, but why not put more effort into making the city feel like alive? That brutalist architecture on the buildings got so boring to me.
Shit. And the
like
same
what
5 NPC designs?
Yeah, the same 5 NPC designs. There's no identifiable landmarks in the entire city, so you have to use a GPS to get everywhere because nothing is recognizable.
Yeah.
Like, I could find, like, in GTA 5, I found my way around the city without using the GPS after a while.
Yeah,
I knew where I was.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 was the same way. Like, you can...
landmarks and stuff like it. That's an important aspect when you fill the sky, so high that like your visual field of view can't see anything. What are you landmarking off of when it all looks the same? Here, I have a test for specifically this genre. Does it stack up to Akira's City? You know what I mean? Like, that feels like at night it is so bright, it is as bright as daytime. That's how bright the city is at all times, because this is a neon cyberpunk future. That's what all the box art, all the like advertising stuff is drenched in this aesthetic. How often is the game able to look like that?
Not really. I mean,
not much.
There's a couple of moments. Like if you pick the Corpo path, which the start of the Corpo path, very neon-y.
Oh, let's establish what all paths we took when we played. I think that would be... I went through as a nomad on my only playthrough because I was not going to do others.
I was Street Kid.
Okay.
I did a Corpo and a Street Kid playthrough.
Hey, all 3!
There we go. All right, we can piece this together.
Now, here's my question. Does the story change at all if you chose any one of those 3?
Very, very, very little. Like,
exactly. What's the point?
And
what's the point?
Let's jump to the end where there's like 7 endings, and 6 of them end in you dying in Night City.
Right.
Yeah. No, sorry, 5 of them end with you dying in Night City.
One of you becomes merged with the city or something.
Yeah. One of them you merge with the city. Another one you technically. Okay.
You leave town. You leave town, which is the one that I took.
Pissed me off the most, which is the supposed best ending, is you get through the final battle, you understand what happened, and that you're going to die. You're either going to die or Jackie's taken over. And you accept it.
Johnny's taking over.
I don't fucking give a shit. Keanu fucking Reeves. Johnny Silverhand. And instead of like, so you get out, Johnny is gone, so it's just you. You're in like you're in a place with Pan Am for just like the last time, and then you go off to stop the mega corporations, and the game fucking ends. It ends with you basically on a suicide mission to stop. I'm like,
right,
and then the credits are. I'm like, this would have been cool to let me fucking die. Like, play the death. Like, does no one play Crisis Core? You know what makes Zach's death that you know is coming impactful? You have to fucking fight at the end of that goddamn game and Endless Wave of Soldiers.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Dude, isn't that like the base element of this game is that it's anti-corporate, which is kind of ironic because it's made by a corporation. It's the Fight Club conundrum. So I'm gonna go off and fight the corporation, but the problem is, you can't beat them, and the other problem is that ultimately you never actually get to that battle in any other fight. You never fight the main villain of the story.
No, you just beat.
What was the point?
Yeah.
Like the main villain who kills off who was the son that killed his father? What was his name? The names are hard to remember because I was so uninterested.
The Akatsuki fuckers.
Yeah.
Arasaka.
Yeah, Arasaka. When the son kills the father, you think, oh, the son is going to be the main villain. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fight him. Nope. You never see him again.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming. Like, just okay. The world doesn't feel like it cares about your existence. It's like,
yeah.
It just feels like I was committing like massive like just murder sprees all over the place just for fun because I was like, whatever, I don't care. And it's just like I got away from the cops in like 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
It's like I was easy. It was easy to evade them because the AI is so broken.
The AI is
so
bad.
broken.
My favorite thing was there was a trend on TikTok a few months ago of people like being impressive at that game. I'm like, yeah, you know the AI is dumb.
The AI is
right?
dumb.
Right.
The AI is dumb.
It's
It's like, so what?
Doing this is impressive at all.
I got stuck in a street shootout at one point and decided to go for a flank maneuver, and they kept shooting where I had been. Like I was watching them, like,
even while you were taking them down.
Yeah, like I'm shooting across their like bow now, taking them out, going like, I guess no one's gonna turn this way. Oh well, pow.
They're really, really stupid. I had a little list of things that I had a problem with in this game. Final boss is lame. Like, what is it? What's his name?
Adam Smasher.
Adam Smasher, which is a character from Black Adam. Fuck you. So you already are a piece of shit.
How dare you?
Yeah, you want to watch Black Adam again?
Listen,
I have watched it 3 times.
You are a glutton for punishment.
I'll probably watch
This is Game Rescue, not Film Rescue. Damn it.
Brutalist architecture gets dull. Yeah, we've covered that. Deus Ex was better. We covered that. Was it just me, or does Keanu Reeves sound like he's bored? I know he's not a gamer. He has no social media. He's disconnected from all this stuff. I get it, but it just feels like when you compare this to like Death Stranding with all the actors they got in that and got great performances, it's like, why is Keanu Reeves giving it like less than okay performance?
Can I take
capture versus voice capture?
Yeah. I was gonna say, Mike, check my homework on this. Keanu Reeves is capable of giving an amazing voice acting performance.
Yes.
We all watched Toy Story 4.
Right.
Yes. He's capable.
I think not knowing the tone of this world, because it's not really got a set tone, as we've been pointing out, there's no flavor to it. I think that it's a direction issue. I think he was probably not directed into the best kind of takes that he could get. And when you're on the other end of it, when you're receiving the pages and they say, we got it, moving on, you don't get to say, no, let's go back and get another, because you don't even know the fucking context. Check my homework on that, Mike. How does that sound as a voice actor?
Yeah. I mean, it's when you don't understand the script. I mean, just look at Tenet. I mean, even if it's a confusing script, or you're given pieces of it that are just your part, which is definitely what CD Projekt Red did to him.
Yeah.
They just gave him his parts, and they gave him an overall premise of the game to get him excited.
Because we were all scrambling for this story, right, guys?
Yeah.
Why is Johnny's story not the main story?
He lived out the most interesting thing that could have happened in the game.
Yeah, why is his stuff not the main stuff?
I thought Edge Runners was going to be about him. I literally thought that they were going to do.
Yeah. Oh, good point.
15. I thought they were. Yeah. So when I started seeing them build this bullshit, I was like, "Oh, are we doing the Final Fantasy 15 route?" Which Final Fantasy 15 had a prequel movie that is mini series called Brotherhood that is literally about the four mains and kind of them growing up.
Right.
About the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. And then you have the game, the episodic DLC that kind of fills in blanks for certain characters, including the main villain. You get his full backstory. And I was like, it would be really cool if I got to play as Johnny. Or like, and then they were like, oh, we're doing an anime. I'm like, oh, that must be about Johnny. No. But the fucking funny thing is, Edge Runners made me hate fucking Cyberpunk more. Edge Runners made me hate
because it was so good.
Because it's so much better, and there's so many, like the Cyber Psycho system that is in Edge Runners. The fuck couldn't that have been in here?
Right.
You don't give me a reason to not just overly abuse every power I have. You're just giving me the power of God.
And that was me in the back half of the game where I was like, I didn't even use my guns. I was just like, overheat. I didn't even need guns. I was so powerful. I was like, what? There's nothing to... I needed somebody to nerf me back down to where I had to use all my skills. And I was just like going into facilities and I was just like, I'm just going to take on the police department. And I just busted in and just like took everybody out. No one stopped me.
Assault on Precinct 13.
It's like also, nothing could stop me. I was so strong. I just felt like, what's the point?
There is a rumor that in Phantom Liberty, this system around cyber psychosis is going to be part of it. Again,
I'll believe it when I see it.
I don't trust a fucking word these guys say.
Right.
Yeah, they burned off all goodwill. This game was released before it was done. Should we talk a little bit about the release of this game?
Yeah,
and how it was an absolute kerfuffle of getting this thing out the door.
It's so funny because we get to talk about this game in the context of like everything that has transpired and then come out since then. Specifically, Baldur's Gate is like a great example of this is based on an RPG tabletop being converted into...
It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's literally Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. And this game...
And all game developers are like, this should not be the industry standard. Oh, you mean you shouldn't have to actually finish your games before they go out the door? You shouldn't play test them?
2 RPGs. I don't even count in Diablo because fuck you. 2
fuck RPGs, Diablo.
Not even a fucking month apart, that to me set new standards in their genre.
Yeah.
And that's 16 and Baldur's Gate. So anyone who's out there saying, oh, this isn't the thing. Yes, it fucking can be, because we've had 2 games this year.
Yeah.
And that's not even me throwing in all the shit that Nintendo did with Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sorry, it can be done, but you have to actually give a shit about what you're doing.
Right.
And that is the thing that is making me excited for Final Fantasy again, is there's somebody in charge there that loves Final Fantasy. And that is clearly in the breadth of Baldur's Gate as well. Those guys clearly love what they do. And when you love what you do, the content you make is so much better.
Yeah.
And there's no love for Cyberpunk. Like, it's just, oh, we need to make another game and make money, and it's not The Witcher. Like, you look at The Witcher, look at their last game, look at Witcher 3. That game is gorgeous.
Right.
It's well made, it's well crafted.
Dude, there's so much game in that game, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this thing is lifeless. Lifeless.
Yeah.
What a weird
Like,
switch.
another thing, like the word... Like in the concept of being in a cyberpunk world, like you can modify your body, like the world around you is neon. It's like it's reflective of the nostalgia for the 80s, not the real 80s that people live through, but like the idealized version, like the soundtrack by Gunship, like that. That's the 80s. The soundtrack in this game fucking sucks, okay? There's not a single goddamn song that I ever even listened to. I turned it off. And I just put on my own playlist.
There's a couple. There's like cause there's 80, I'll give them this, 80 handmade songs. So they made these songs. I'll give them that. That's awesome.
I would have preferred some Gunship or some just some Carpenter Brute, just something.
Some Nero.
There's 3.
Nero, anything but this crap.
I think there's 3 songs. Like, I Really Want to Stay at Your House. Which that is the song that's the big song from Edge Runners that got really popular because of Edge Runners.
Okay.
That song is probably the best song on that entire thing. And there are 80 fucking songs on this goddamn soundtrack. And I remember 2 others outside of that. Don't know the fucking names, but they were songs about, oh yeah, that one. That's it. because they're so generic.
It's all EDM music. It's club music. It's stuff
trance music in there too. Where's my Darude Sandstorm?
Oh god, it's so frustrating to go through this game and just not have like an interesting soundtrack, because it's like you're spending a lot of time in the car.
Dude, I could shit on this game forever from its Borderlands wannabe weapons that are not really that great or unique or fun.
Another thing I had a problem with. So you can get, like, you play as Johnny Silverhand for one scene. And it's awesome. That one scene where he has that awesome gun. It's like a one-hit kill weapon. You eventually get that gun. But the shit that they already have in my inventory is like 1,000 times better.
Right.
I should not. Oh, god damn it.
There was a cool sword later on that was actually good.
Yeah.
But then, and about 20 minutes later, I did find a better sword. So,
yeah. Like, this is a problem with these kinds of games, that it's all randomly generated. It's so fucking random. Like, I'm kind of over open world games at this point, because they're too fucking big. I don't have the time. Why is it that making the game bigger instantly makes it better? That's why I know that Starfield is gonna suck. I know it's gonna suck. Like, it's like it would take you 100 years to finish it.
Let me verbalize.
Like, I'm gonna play it for that long? Are you crazy?
Get this one on film too. I'm gonna verbalize to you. Starfield is going to be absolutely shit at launch. It's going to be exactly the same as No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky,
comparing it to No Man's Sky, and we're going to realize, holy shit, all this stuff is already in No Man's Sky. Plus, I could fucking move my spaceship on the fucking planet, and there's vehicles. What the fuck is this game? Why does it feel half done? It's fucking Microsoft's fault. No, it's Bethesda's fault. Todd Howard, fuck you. And eventually, in like 3 years, just like Fallout 76, it'll be a good game.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's their there's two different kinds of game audience now, I think, in regards to like this kind of deeper, large gameplay, because you have the story purists that are in it to like get a narrative like an interactive narrative experience, and then we have like game nerds that are here to use those systems to build and to like design on their own. The mod community pops out of that, and like they're both legitimate ways to play, right? But I think we need to start being able to delineate what those are, and we need to find a way to advertise to these groups a little bit better, because Starfield being pronounced to be a No Man's Sky thing immediately heralds to me like, oh, this is not a game for me then, because it doesn't sound like there's going to be much of a narrative. Like, I feel like the Fallout games are losing their narrative too, though. Like, I think a lot of Bethesda games are like kind of going, actually, we don't even care about narrative at this point. We just want to build
the story of 4 wasn't good, and 76 has almost no story.
Hey, fuck you. 76 has a great story now, 4 years later. Thank you.
You follow the overseer from point to point, and you don't even have to go to half the map.
It's more than that.
As a previous resident of West Virginia, it pissed me off the distances between stuff. You can get from like Harper's Ferry to WVU on foot. All right.
Vault Tech University.
3 had the same issue where you could walk from Washington, D.C. to Falls Church in like maybe like 5 minutes. No.
But see, for me, I like open world games, but it's not just hey, I like open world games. It
needs to feel alive.
I want to be immersed. Like,
immersion is the thing.
When I played The Division, when I played The Division 2, or when I played Watch Dogs 2, I felt engaged, immersed, excited to figure out what the fuck was going on, because they built worlds that actually, to me, felt worth exploring. I wanted to, in Watch Dogs 2, you could find random people fucking doing yoga in the fucking park or taking selfies. There's a fucking achievement in Watch Dogs 2 about a random NPC that you can run into and taking a photo with them. That's how fucking good that game is.
Yeah.
There's so much random life in that game. Like, everyone wants to jump on Red Dead Redemption 2 because of all the randomness that happens in that fucking game. But then they leave out the fact that it's way too fucking big, and the randomness does not
Yeah.
happen.
There's nothing out there.
Time.
There's nothing out there.
I text Dysart about Red Dead 2 after I saw your interaction, and I was like, to me, Red Dead 2 was like going to the Met Gala in cardboard shoes.
Pretty much.
So
Hey,
for those who don't know, me and Dysart got into it a little bit recently when I said that Red Dead 2 was way too slow and it's very frustrating. And he was just like, he hasn't played it yet. So I was like, he doesn't know. But I have a feeling it's like, don't really like the GTA games anymore. You're not going to like this. It's the same, except it's less.
Thanks for bringing up GTA. All the driving you do in Cyberpunk is this
terrible
GTA simulator? I'm just gonna drive all right. It's not even interesting.
That's insulting to GTA because
here's another thing. Music. Remember in Saints Row 3 where I got a fucking hovercraft? Where the fuck is that?
Right.
Where's my fucking jetpack? Like, you want to call this the future? Where the fuck is my shit?
There's a mod when you play those. There's a mod on PC for those in Cyberpunk, and I went.
I'm not playing it on a PC. I'm playing it on a PS5. God damn it!
And I said,
"Where's my jetpack? Where's my hover bike? Where's all the awesome shit you promised?"
Where's just anything?
Yeah, like there's just nothing.
No floating skyscrapers. Like, this is a waste, guys.
Oh, dude.
Elysium has a cooler future than this.
Guys, Fantasy 5 has fucking floating planets. Like, what the fuck is your stupid, shitty ass game's problem? That's Final Fantasy 5, you bitches.
For all the effort that was put into making this thing look as like just buildings everywhere, you can go into all these buildings, but it's like they all look the same. It's all that brutalist architecture, which is like sharp corners on everything. It's like it's hard to look at it after a certain point.
You can go into all the buildings. Like most of them, you can't even fucking get it.
Yeah, they say, "Oh, there's buildings," but mostly it says locked. It's like, what's that? Why even give me the option to look at it if you're not even gonna let me go in?
Right.
So fucking dumb. It's just so stupid and it's lifeless. That's
it. Just they needed to have something that was more a real city. That was grounded, because when I think like Night City as like a futuristic city, like go back to Blade Runner. Blade Runner, the city that's in that still feels like it's filled with people. It's alive. There's flying cars and such, but there's still like people on the street just like hanging out.
Yeah, eating food. Like that's half the movie is just people shopping in the background.
Yeah, whereas with this, it feels like because of the limitations of just, the game itself, they can't do that. Even though the trailers promised that.
Right.
They oversold a promise that they couldn't write because of the technology that they were using. And because they spent so much money and took so much time, they got to the point where they were now in between console generations, PS4, PS5, whatever the fuck Xbox
Rough
does.
spot to be.
Oh. I feel sorry for everybody that played this on the PS4 and saw the game like that. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
I got lucky when I bought that game because I got a launch PS5. So I was playing it on PS5 from the start. Spoiler alert, it's still a giant piece of shit. And like it took them
It's functional, but it's not fun.
When PlayStation themselves removes you from your store, you got a fucking problem. I can tell you there's a bunch of like copyright strike hentai games on the PlayStation Store, and your broken ass game got taken down. By the way, go play Sakura Succubus 4. It's pretty good.
I will not do that. No, thank you.
Was that the secret game of the day? Was that the secret?
And there it is. That one is.
No, I will not put that as a TikTok to put up on our page. No, we already got nuked once. No, thank you.
R.I.P. Paul
Rubens. You guys ever heard of Senran Kagura? Play them. There's a volleyball one. Anyway,
I'm good.
So it's just we really should shift away from shitting on this game.
I have some compliments. I do have some genuine compliments.
Name a positive. Name something good.
I really like the initial starting apartment and the like little floor in the skyscraper you live in. That your like home base area felt like I liked hanging out there. I genuinely, I spent a lot of my time like figuring out the menu, just hanging out in that area or up in the apartment. I think there was some genuine like creative thought put into what would a blue collar future cube thing be like. It gave me like Fifth Element vibes a little bit. Honestly, like I kind of dug that, and I could have taken a lot more Fifth Element in this game. To be clear, I could have taken a shitload more Fifth Element.
I got back into it after what they called the Edge Runners update, so I got David's high-end apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so, like that place was so beautiful to just be in. And that's another thing. There are a lot of times when you're outside of Night City in those little times, like you're going to the upscale part of Night City that doesn't have the mountainous fucking buildings that are very gorgeous.
When you see it from the outside of the city, when you're in the desert and you're looking back at it, it's like it's pretty.
Yeah, there's some vista views in it. They really, like if you go looking for them, there's attempts at it.
If the aesthetic was to be Night City is meant to look like the dream come true, but then you get into it and it's an utter piece of shit. Hey, mission accomplished because it looks like an utter piece of shit when you get into it. But that's a great one. I also, it doesn't matter if you play female or male V. I think the performance of that voice actor or actress that you chose is absolutely phenomenal. I think its side characters, including people like Jackie and Panam, are very well handled.
Yeah.
And at times way more interesting. And like when if you do Panam's story, that's the only thing I wanted to do. I just wanted to be with her. Just
same.
To hang out with her.
I got together with her at the end. That was my ending. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's just like, this is beautiful. This is great. Why can't your main story be as great as some of your side content? And like,
because it's not interesting.
it's so good because when you watch after you watch Edge Runners and you go back and play this game, it pissed me off more because Edge Runners, its theme is you will always lose in Night City, but you can still cut out just a little piece of happiness for yourself, even here, even now. And there are moments of that within the story on the side quests of Cyberpunk that you can find little slices of happiness, and they just don't re-inject them back into the main story until the end, kind of, when there's 3 seconds of fucking conversation about it.
When your side stories are better than your main narrative, you have a problem.
Yeah. Not everyone can be Final Fantasy 16, where both the side story and the main story make you fucking bawl your eyes out, and you're going, side content! Side content!
I think the biggest problem with the main narrative is that Johnny Silverhand is such a fucking douchebag all the time. It's like, why do I care if he lives or dies?
Right.
He's a douchebag.
He's such a fucking douchebag. I don't give a shit. Like, I would probably be like, you know what? I'd rather nuke you out of my fucking head. Like, I don't give a shit. Also, his plan was like, I'm gonna nuke this tower. It's gonna take down the corporation.
Yeah,
but it didn't.
Real dumb.
Yeah, that's stupid. That anarchist, like it's the Fight Club thing. It's an anarchist 15-year-old threw a brick through a Starbucks window. I'm taking down the man bullshit. What are you What are you, a fucking child?
It would have been so much cooler if they made Johnny be like the keeper of the secrets, right? And they tease that he's going to be the keeper of the secrets, and then they stopped knowing how to write and just made him a douchebag asshole anarchist. And it's like, this guy was inside of Arasaka Tower. This guy almost succeeded. He should know more than what you are letting on.
Yeah.
And it just never comes up. Like, Johnny should have been the ace up V sleeve for more than just being Johnny. Because it's like, you've got the thing in your head. That means you're special. It's like, why does it make him fucking special? Like, you're not really giving me a reason to feel like he's special.
Yeah.
In that sense, outside of Johnny's in me head. Like, the fuck else is there? Like, all the shit that you get revealed doesn't technically need Johnny to be there for it to go down. Like, you could have just been a guy who happened, like if the corporate route was always there, then you kind of understand a little bit more of how the corporate world works. And you also kind of understand how Arasaka works. So just having the X be there, and it could have it be that you've heard the legend of Johnny Silverhand. He doesn't even have to be there. And it's just, that's not good narrative. That means you just injected a very popular person into your game because people are going to buy it.
You know why he's in here, right?
To sell the game.
Because, have you ever seen the film Johnny Mnemonic?
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, the crux of that story is that he's a data courier.
Honestly, I would have taken a little telepathic dolphin action in this game. Weird shit needs to happen in the future. This is a boring future.
Oh, like Edge Runners?
Right.
But the crux of the story of Johnny Mnemonic is that he's had so much information implanted into his brain that it's destroying his mind.
Yeah.
So he has to get it out of him. It's the same fucking plot. But in that future, in Johnny Mnemonic, while the movie is not great, the black and white version that's on Criterion, believe it or not, is in Criterion. I don't know why. Which is the original cut of the film. It's actually an interesting future because it looks like, oh, that's what it would really be like.
I only watched Samurai.
That's a real future. You know, it's just like that part of Skid Row in Los Angeles. That's the whole country now. That's the real future.
I mean, if we're doing the mega city thing, then make it feel like more Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd. Why are there no like cops everywhere? The Max Tech guys, they show up for like 3 scenes and they're gone.
Remember when you saw them at like the beginning of the game and then you never see them again? Because in the Corpo storyline, they show the fuck up in the middle of the street while you're driving through, and they murk a guy and fucking take him.
Oh my god!
And you're just like, oh shit, that's dope. Like, never really. And then if you get a high enough wanted level, they show up, and let me tell you, not impressive. Like, they have cyber powers, but they're not. They don't scare me.
Yeah,
like,
they're not a threat.
Like, they're really not a threat, and you can just get away from them as like the other ones. It's the same thing with the first mission that you do, which is getting the woman who got trafficked and is like rich, and the medical insurance company essentially that shows up. Like, that would have been cool to know more about them. No, what do we get? A fucking AI chauffeur company mission.
Yeah, what the fuck was that guy's name?
Dick
Robin. Yeah, see, nobody remembers.
No, dude.
I thought it was a trick question.
Yeah, the taxi cab company. I can't remember the name of it. I just
someone's screaming at this podcast because they know that name because they put 1,000. That's Greg. You're like, I don't fucking care. Even if I knew the name.
The biggest problem is that you're so emotionally uninvested with the game because I noticed this like a couple of hours in the game. I was like, the dialogue choices you get, I'm like, I'm not sure if that's the good one, that's the bad one, that's the medium one. It's so vague. I'm not sure if I'm coming off like a good person or an asshole. I couldn't quite tell. Like with Mass Effect, you can tell like, oh, blue is good, red is evil. Like then there's the white, which is just like the intermediary, like in the middle.
Yeah.
This one, it's like, what am I saying? Like what to anybody? Like, and then he'll say he or she says dialogue. It's like, but it's not what the text said.
Right.
So why give me choices if you're just going to take my choice away?
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Why is this a choice-based game?
I think it gives the air of like that kind of RPG start from anywhere.
The illusion of choice.
Yeah.
You end up at the same place no matter what.
That's and this is a debate that's been going on for about 6 months now. The difference between is the term JRPG offensive. Honestly, nowadays the term JRPG means someone made a fucking organized goddamn story, no matter how bonkers or batshit it gets, and they don't try to throw falsehoods at you a fucking choice. But like, we have crafted a narrative experience for you in a world with this. These are the systems. Here you go. Like, Western developers have been trying this choice thing, and it's kind of partially like Elder Scrolls' fault a little bit, and it's also kind of Deus Ex's fault. And it just doesn't work. It's not working for all of you. You aren't winning. And CD Projekt Red has a problem with this with The Witcher 3, and if you remember how you get the good, bad, and terrible ending of that game, it's fucking dialogue options at 3 separate points throughout the fucking game.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. And it's just not indicative of choice or good gameplay. Like, it's like, if you're boiling things down to like that, and it's just so it's kind of shitty, kind of lazy. And then you look at another game like Dishonored 1, which also gives you the freedom of choice. But in reality, it's telling you, no, you can't kill these people.
Yeah.
Well, why the fuck did you make killing them way more fun than not killing them?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's because it's, there are some points where it's like you can't kill this character because, the game narrative needs to occur. Like, I get that.
Yep.
I think Dishonored specifically actively punishes you for using things that it requires you to use.
Yeah, Dishonored 2 is one of the most underrated games. Like, it sucks it didn't make a ton of money because we should have gotten a third one. We really should have gotten a third one.
Dishonored 1 is not.
It's okay. It's not great. It's
okay.
It's a thief game with another label slapped on top of it because it has the same voice actor. What's the guy that did the voice of who is the voice of Garrett in Thief? It's the same voice actor. Yeah,
voice actor. That's right.
It's just a thief game in disguise. That's all it is. Because Thief Deadly Shadows wasn't great, and then the remake was also dog shit.
Maybe they consider that the trilogy.
Oh yeah, shit! Thief, the remake of Thief. Everyone go play the Thief remake from 2014.
No, don't play it. It's really awful.
You'll find it for like $6.
I got it for $4 in the PlayStation Store. I still wanted my money back.
What a fucking value that game was, eh? Everybody, go play Thief. This stream sponsored by Thief.
No, this stream is sponsored by whatever that Hentai 4 game was.
Oh, Sakura Succubus 4.
Sakura Succubus 4.
Pick it up. I think it's on sale right now too.
I'm still not doing a TikTok of this. No.
Guys, they're making a Sakura Succubus 5. Oh, my Bing safe search came on. That's bullshit, Bing. Come on. Also, I just revealed.
Wait a second. You're using Bing? Let's back up for a second here.
I don't have enough Jack Daniels left to keep my sanity.
Well,
let's move on.
Then let's pitch a fix to this. I mean, I think the obvious. Here's my.
I have one last thing I wanted to complain about.
Oh, please.
So I can mod my body in the game.
Yes.
I can't mod my cars?
Well, that would require so much more game in the game.
Why is it? There's 3 races! 3 races! And one of them you don't even finish.
And those cars really control great in this game, don't they, guys?
Oh, man, those cars are great. Oh, those cars.
At no point does it feel like you're just skating across ice.
You're a bar of soap slipping across ice.
It's like hydroplane in dry weather.
What's it like to drive a hovercraft across the lake?
See, you did get your hovercraft, Jesse. Stop fucking complaining.
There you go.
God damn it, Mike.
Great.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we'll get demonetized for this one.
Sakura Succubus 4. It's $5, everybody. Pick that thing up today. Oh boy, yeah, we should let's think of a fix for this game before I go play Sakura Succubus 4 because I just found out Sakura Succubus 5 is coming out at some point. So I really gotta get I gotta get on it. I gotta get back in there.
That's enough hentai for me. I'm okay. Here's genuinely my first addition to the fix for this game.
Yes.
We need some motherfucking verticality. Why is it the future and there's not like extra layers of sidewalk? We need that fifth element of a vertical city. I think the jetpacks.
Why is this not Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed,
right? I think the jetpacks is a great addition. I think the hover vehicles is a great addition. Let's stack the city up. Don't let me in every building. I don't need to get inside of every building.
Yeah.
But please, let's make outside look vibrant, like a futuristic city where it's so busy that they've stacked street on street on street of traffic. And
yeah.
Dude, somebody could be, like a hot dog cart, but they float up and down. Like they have a vertical station instead of moving around the block. They just go up and down the
Fifth
block.
Element. Fifth Element.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it would be. That's my. Please make that.
If Blade Runner could do this in the 80s, you can do it now.
Right.
And also, they even show they have hover vehicles in the game. Why can't I hijack one?
Yeah, when you get pushed out onto that balcony the first time and see the first aid when they come to get picked up, it's like I wanted.
Why can't I steal it?
I wanted that to be the whole game, and then suddenly you get into the game and it's like, oh, that was just. Was orchestrated for just that moment. Oh wow!
Corporate lifestyle. You also riding those hovers too.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I did not play through the corpo, admittedly.
No, I'm not playing. I will not. This is another thing I have a problem with big open world games. If the story is that long, I will never play it a second time. Ever.
Not even that long.
That's like the main campaign isn't that long, but the rest of the game around
it is if you got to play 3 of them to get the whole experience. That's like a 20-hour campaign times 3 is now up to 60 hours.
In reality, all 7 endings can, if you just have a save before you go kill Adam Smasher or whatever, you can do all 7 endings. I think I did like 3 of the fucking endings. I can't remember. But after the third one, which was
you really subjected yourself to a lot of punishment for this one.
The
ending
I liked, which was the one where you're about to actually do something that could actually affect change. And it ends abruptly. I went, fuck you. Are you fucking kidding me? You built up. So first off, that's what I'm doing. That ending, which I'm going to make that the true ending, you actually fucking get to play it. And so you actually succeed, but you die.
You play through the death.
End of it. Play through the death. Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but man, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare does that shit where the last mission everyone dies. And
Halo Reach. Halo Reach is the same thing.
The best part of that game. Yeah.
I play good games like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
They're the same fucking game.
Mike,
they are literally the same fucking game.
Mike
Don't give me that shit.
Mike is the king of rage bait irony, you know? No, yeah, I mean, the ending of Halo Reach, it is hard to keep fighting, you know? Like, they really...
Well, there's the ending of Spec Ops The Line, where the ending where you assume the identity of the general that's been in Dubai, and all the military guys show up to take you away. You have the option of going with them willingly, or killing all of them and then just taking over.
Yeah.
Crisis Core.
And you can survive and then take over. Or you could die and then
Crisis Core, you even know it's coming. Like, Crisis Core is a prequel to Final Fantasy 7. You know he's going to die. And
it's happening.
They're like, hey, guess what? You still got to play. And the way Crisis Core does it is so incredible. That's why Crisis Core is an incredible game. Because there's a system in this game known as the slot system. And as you're slowly dying, you're losing the memories of the characters in the slot. So the slot will pull up. And then you'll have like a flashback of all your memories of that character, and then they don't ever appear in the slot again. And the last 2 are Cloud and Aerith. And it literally, the last one right before he dies, it pops up on your screen. 2 Aeriths come up, and then the last one starts glitching. It's like Zack is fighting, refusing to let go of her. And you're like, oh my fucking God, this is them. They used their system in the game that you used for fighting and getting buffs and leveling up as an impactful way to show his death.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this piece of shit game now, Cyberpunk?
Yeah,
it's a PSP game.
There's none of the themes are folded into the gameplay. Like, I was looking for it. I look for that kind of stuff. I love when the themes and the way you play the game are like attached to each other. And it's an anti-corporate mindset, but damn, is it a like locked in tight fighting system? Like you unless you really want to challenge yourself with a melee run, you're kind of just set on the gun path.
So I do have a few improvements to this game. I do have a few things that I would do, and it kind of all based around the basic premise that they decided to tease everybody with the first trailer, which is the death Jackie Wells. And so no matter I don't care if it's Nomad Street Kid or Corp, I don't give a shit. But the death of Jackie Wells, I personally don't think he should have died. I think not Jackie, but V. I think V should have done enough to escape. V escapes, he goes to the fuck is the afterlife? Is that what that fucking bar was called? And he's there, he's pissed, he's covered in blood, and the person who comes up to him is Alt Cunningham, who was Johnny's girlfriend. And he is like, I need to get revenge. I'm fucking done. I'm pissed off. And she's like, you remind me of somebody I used to know. And that's when she tells him the story of Johnny Silverhand. The true story. She goes, yeah, you've heard of Johnny Silverhand? And he goes, yeah, I've heard of him. He's got a drink here, too. All that good shit. And that's when we play.
This should all be happening while the song "Somebody That I Used to Know" is playing in the background.
That's the only time we see Keanu Reeves, is we actually get to play as him for like a chapter or two, where we are kind of understanding what the environment was when he was there, and his quest for revenge and what fueled him for this revenge. Because in reality, it just felt like he was an anarchist. I would have loved for them to actually dove into why he really cared, which was he's a fucking war vet and he's kind of fucked up in the head. And it would have been cool if they would have actually like explained why he chose to do this a little bit. And instead of Johnny Silverhand being there teasing you the whole time, you are building this path of revenge, and you're kind of building an army of anarchists. So you're doing what Johnny could never do, which was, I'm creating a fucking rebellion in this. And by doing this, at some point then, you know, when we could even have it be, we don't even need Johnny. We don't need the stupid fucking soul killer stupid crap that existed. It was so dumb, and no one was smart enough to be able to explain it in a good way. So it just turned out to be stupid. Getting it the fuck out of here. You're going to die doing this because no one wins in Night City. And that is the theme of Night City to begin with. And you can even give him outs. You can give him outs with Panam and all the others. And he can't take them because he's so attached.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I can't let Jackie go. I cannot do it. And we can have that story about what revenge gets you, where it gets you, and how it doesn't help you. And just have him try to let go and have those moments of clarity where, like, well, this is what it would be like if I didn't have this obsession. But then, you know, he'll have a dream about Jackie, and he's right back. Or he sees the shitty crap that Arasaka does to the people. Give them the fucking commentary of why mega and neo-capitalism is so fucking terrible for people that are not at the top, and show them spitting on the common folk. Show that fucking shit. And show how bad it is.
And if your city is built up to be like vibrant and lively in a place that you care about, that means something by the end of the game. You know what you're going to lose there.
I would have the color palette change by the end of the game. Ooh. So it's going to start out vibrant, but by the end of it, because you know everything at this point, the color palette is dull. Because you see the city for what it really is. Bullshit.
That gives me an idea for a game mechanic to build along with your story.
You mean like the Saboteur did in 2013, where the parts of France that were controlled by Nazis were black and white.
Black and white.
Save them, they turned in the color.
That's cool.
That's right.
I like that.
It's so fun. Also, play the Saboteur. That's a great fucking game.
It's a lot of like side quest collectathon bullshit, but the overall is great. For the last game of Pandemic Studios, not bad.
So here's my pitch to add into this. Cyberpunk's based on a tabletop RPG, right?
Yes.
And I think something that a lot of these RPG-based games miss is that to replicate the RPG experience, I think you have to learn what kind of class you are in a world after you've played the first time. I don't think anybody walks into D&D knowing that they're a paladin starting off as a bard. You know what I mean? You figure it out along the way and you go, oh, I think paladin actually will work for me better. So what if our game, you don't pick a class at the beginning and the ending you get tells you what class you were? So instead of starting off the nomad, if you get the ending where you leave the city and just say, fuck it all, I'm leaving, the end credits tells you your class was nomad.
I like that. And like the choices you made as a person, like have the choices be that like this trait, this trait, or this trait. Like have it like
you drop in and figure out what your play style is going to be without any context. And then it's as you play, as you role play, it tells you what you are by the hey, if you go real powerful and kill everybody and say, actually, I'll take this bitch over, hey, guess what? You got the corpo ending. I think something like, because then that encourages me to play through again and go, wait a second, now I know I can make totally different choices and find a different ending to this. That encourages that second and third playthrough where maybe you do learn something new by chasing a non-corpo path and going down a different. I think something like that, as it reveals it to you, would really reinforce the story along the way, because it's your choices that lead to your ending instead of you picking one and then it's saying, actually, this is all just the same shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. Like, there's so many possibilities that they could have gone with, and then they chose what has to be 7 of the most disappointing things I've ever seen in my life. And any of you motherfuckers that were out there, any of this is why never ever trust the critics' review. This game got 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
There is nothing about this game that is a 9 or a 10.
No, this is like a solid 6 out of 10.
I would argue more. I would say Breath of the Wild is more of a 9 or a 10 than this fucking thing, because it is not good. Doesn't look palatable. Nothing feels good. The AI is stupid. The cars don't really feel alive. The environment doesn't really feel alive. And you guys gave it 9s and 10s?
Yeah.
How? Who the fuck put money in your pocket? I've always been one of those people that rolls my eyes when someone says that. But this was one of the first games I went, really feels like people got paid off to give this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like
they were banking on this. Like they've been. This is in development for like what, 10 years, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, it's been in pre-development for almost 7 years. I think
pre-development for 7 years, but then they only put it in development after like what, 2 years before its release. Like, how do you spend that much time dicking around and not making a game?
You ready to be fucked up? This game cost $313 million.
Damn. We need a name for this. Jesse, you invented Blunderbuster for blockbusters that don't perform well. What do we call this?
What do you call games that get massive amounts of money on release? What do you call them? What's the name?
No, that's a good question. I don't. What is the vocab on that?
I'm calling it AAA dog shit.
Yeah. AAA game, big budget, big release.
Spunk Gargle Wee Wee, I think is.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
That's the Escapist. That's Yahtzee's. I can't steal that. That's what he calls these.
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Maybe this is the interactive section of the podcast. You let us know. What do we call these overbloated, super high budget farts?
We usually just call them games made by EA.
Oh, that was nice. That was
yeah. A big thing I would say to pitch to fix this thing.
Yeah.
Have it 2 separate storylines going at the same time.
Ooh.
One is you as your character V. The other half is you as Johnny.
Ooh, I like that.
What if
and your choices in the past as Johnny affect things that happen in your timeline in the future?
Oh, that'd be cool. I like the consequences of that. What if it was like, what if there was a digital inner world to the city? Like, what if there's like places where you can like
the internet?
Yeah, like
the internet.
Yeah, like jack into the internet of the city, and maybe that's where Johnny Silverhand's story is playing out. So that way temporally you don't have to do any like time travel fuckery or anything like that. It could be like you at different points in the game you're going to switch over to play like, or maybe that's part of it. Maybe you need his digital essence to do stuff on the digital side of the world. Like that could have been much better use of him.
Remember when you actually go into that place that you're talking about and you're there for like 10 seconds and you can't really do anything?
I do. It was frustrating.
Why is it that when you see Johnny for the first time, he's doing nothing in this like empty void, and he's like, I've been here for like 50 years. Like, you haven't gone crazy, you haven't lost your mind, you haven't taken advantage of the digital space to manipulate the world around you. Like, isn't everybody capable of doing that?
That was part of my problem. Was he was saved on a USB disk and put into this like freezer thing, and I'm like, okay, so like,
why not just destroy him?
Like what? What? I was like, that's why I was like, the whole premise of Johnny being around now is so dumb.
It's
Get rid
contrived
of
as
it.
fuck.
I thought it was going to be a whole
Contrived.
mechanic in the game as they were setting it up. I was like, oh, I'm going to jump between like me and Johnny Silverhand, and like, what a great use of Keanu Reeves in the studio.
Or there's other
stares angrily into camera.
There's other USBs around the city you got to find, and it gets you new memories of Johnny. You get to relive different sections of his life or something like that.
Have him take over the city. You know what I mean? Like you got to plug him into.
You do party as him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a great side quest. I was like, and that made me. I was like, man, I would love to have done that. That's fucking great. Because he's like,
yes, because that's what this game was missing.
It's missing fucking like quality. Just there need more bright spots. Need more bright spots. I really hope that Phantom Liberty does actually like make good on some of the things that Edge Runner showed was possible. The city can feel alive.
Yeah, we've gotten way better content from this IP. Even more recently.
Edge Runners is really good on Netflix. It's only like, what is it, 10 episodes? It's not
10
long.
Episodes,
yeah.
10 episodes.
Quick in and out. You're done. It's simple.
Get you a new anime waifu.
Yep. Or dad foo. Or go play Sakura Succubuses 4, you know?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
That's all you need, you know? They say it's this generation's honey pop. So I hope you guys are ready for that.
I'm good. Anyway. The fact that you know what that is really terrifying, Mike.
Hard pass.
Oh man. Well,
we've got some fun ideas here on how to fix this thing up just right. I mean, man, it's almost like this thing was based on an RPG and should have felt a little more like an RPG, you know?
Yeah, not just a boring shooter.
That's ballsy strategy, guys. I don't know.
Why would you take an RPG and pull out all like the in-depth RPG stuff? Why would you take it and just be like, every mission you go on is just go here, shoot this guy, grab the shit, leave. That's every mission is literally the same.
I want to call
Bethesda and EA.
I want to rename this game Far Cry from what they promised us.
Oh my god, that's a great name, but also insulting to a game that did have 2 good entries.
Listen, they've got enough bad ones.
2 of those games are pretty good.
Yeah, they've got enough bad ones that I could say that.
Hey, 2 and 3 were great.
2 is pretty good because it was interesting, although I don't like the fact that it's set in an African nation, which is war-torn, and it's really fucking creepy. When they got into like the fictionalized countries, that's when I was like, okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah, 2 is okay, and I think, was it 4 is pretty good? The one where you take on like the rednecks in the woods.
That's 5.
That's 5.
5 sucks.
It's power fantasy, and I'm okay with taking on like
you can fight a bear with a helicopter in that game.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Fight a bear with a helicopter in real life.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, if that's how you go, though, what a tweet.
That'd be a dope ass way to go.
What a headline, you know?
I gotta go play Sakura Succubus and book my helicopter flight.
Oh god. Okay. Right.
Cyberpunk 2077.
What a disappointment.
It's functional now if you want to go play it, if this is of any interest. I did boot up my PC version of it and sat through a day of updates just to check in before this episode. It is functional now. It is a functional game.
I was going to do that, and then I realized that a game that's actually way better was sitting there, and I was like, I'll just go play Fallout 76 some more. And so I started playing Fallout 76 instead of Cyberpunk.
Another game that was broken upon release.
But it's fucking brilliant now.
You know what games aren't broken on release? What I've been playing lately. Super Mario Odyssey. Worked great every time I plugged it in.
Final Fantasy 16 is a great game. You guys should be playing that. You should be playing Baldur's Gate 3. If you're not playing Baldur's Gate 3, you either don't have a PC, or you're an asshole. So go play fucking Baldur's Gate 3.
Shout out to friend of the show Jesse Ferguson, who's been playing Baldur's Gate the entire time we've been recording.
I will be playing that game.
Baldur's Gate 3 comes out on PS5 in September next month, so get it then. I'm going to get it. I typically don't buy games on release to pay full price, but this is one where I'm like, it's so... The it's antithetical to what the corporate system is now regarding game development, that I'm gonna buy it as a form of rebellion.
Hey, guess what? You want to know the best part about Baldur's Gate 3?
What?
Comes out on PS5 on September 6th.
Yes.
That's the same day Starfield comes out.
Oh shit! Shots fucking fired.
Fuck Starfield.
There will be blood in the streets.
What's the other game?
It's final. It's sci-fi versus fantasy. We are not going to survive, guys.
Baldur's Gate wins.
What's the other game that's been in development for like 15 fucking years? It's from the Wing Commander developer Chris Roberts.
You mean the scam that is Star Citizen?
That's it. Star Citizen.
Star
That
Citizen.
fucking scam.
That thing is
that is a scam.
It's a scam, though. I mean,
that is a scam. That is not a finished game. That is bullshit. They took everybody's money. That is a scam.
Listen, guys, if that's the game that you want, there are 2 games out that you can play that are way better than both of those. Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky.
Another game that's broken upon release. Guys, finish your fucking games. I get it's difficult to actually make games now because the hardware is more difficult to work with. But if that's the case, make the fucking game smaller. I would be fine if No Man's Sky was like 5 planets, but all of them were intricately designed. That would be amazing. Let me fly anywhere I want on any of those planets, but give me a ton of shit to do on each one.
Yeah.
Perfect. Done. I don't need 10 billion planets. I'm never going to see them. I could live my entire life playing it every second of every day of my life and still never see everything on my deathbed.
I need a new name for this kind of like procedurally generated stuff, and it's non-content, right? Because like you can promise me 10 billion planets, but if I can't feasibly even functionally visit a billion, you know what I mean? Like that's non-content. Monotony craft. Oh, that's good. Yeah,
They want to be Minecraft so bad, but they totally can't.
What is the point of advertising 10 billion? It's like,
okay, you're never going to see it.
Next to that number, tell me functionally how many planets I'm going to see. Give us some actual measurements here. This feels like I'm trying to measure shit on the fucking flat Earth, and it's like none of these measurements line up. You know, it's like
I'll defend No Man's Sky over this, and it's because that infinite number is what gets investors. That's why that was around, because
it gets investors, doesn't get gamers.
And listen, I'm not saying
gamers too.
I'm not saying don't bring it up. I'm not saying don't bring it. I think it's cool. Like I also would like lead with that is an option, right? But I think I think transparency with your customers is important. And so saying 10 billion planets, average gameplay, 100 planets visited. You know what I mean? Like,
I hate to be an asshole, but it's not 10
You always
billion.
are an asshole.
It's 18 quintillion planets.
Wow.
In No Man's Sky.
I have to learn a new word to see how they lied to me. I have to learn a whole new word to see how they lied to me.
Also, I just looked it up on Wikipedia. It's the 7-year anniversary of that game coming out.
Wow.
You want to guess how many planets I went to in my entire run of No Man's Sky?
10?
7.
Yeah, that's me too. Don't ask me the number.
Fuck No Man's Sky. I maybe
we gotta end
this
this
is way
episode.
off topic, but this is way off topic. This is where I'll end it. I'm almost 40. 2 more years, I'll reach middle age, and I'll be at the point where it's like, look, I'm doing the Danny Glover thing. I'm too old for this shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the time or the energy in my life to dedicate to a game that is that big. I don't see the point. You know, if you have that much time to dedicate to a game that is that large, you need to get out of your fucking house and go off and just enjoy sunlight and touch grass. Because you are really missing out on, life. Because there's no purpose to having a game that big. it doesn't behoove you to make a game. It's like, oh well, we have all this shit. It's like I could do a lot of this stuff in the real world.
Mm.
You know, it's like
yeah. Don't fucking play No Man's Sky and visit over 1,000 planets. What a fucking idiot!
Or I could go on vacation to another continent and just pay the flight and just travel anywhere I want and see a new place.
Because you don't have kids, so you don't have to worry about paying for those. So you fucking dive into some fucking game and you don't realize that that's not making the pain go away, but you keep going to every planet. And then, hey, you go into a black hole and you're like, this is real great. I love this game. And then you realize at the end of the day, you've been to over 1,000 planets in this game and you still feel empty inside. I'm not saying that's me. That's not me.
I think
this sounds like a cry for help.
I gotta go back to playing Soccer Succubus.
We need warning labels on the back of these games. You know what I mean? Like, this might suck you in way too much. We put so much game in here. Oh my god! No, I hear you, Jesse. I don't know if anyone out there is really playing these games like that, but if that hypothetical person does exist, I hope they get a hug today. That's all.
The only game I'm looking forward to that's an open world at this point is GTA 6. Because they are bringing GTA 5 online to an end. They're not going to update it anymore, which means they're going to announce the release date for GTA 6 pretty soon. So they're going to have a new version of GTA Online coming out with GTA 6, and they're going to have a big world. It's supposed to be all the lower half of Florida.
Let's just hope they didn't have to abuse their software engineers on this one.
Well, I mean, you know, it got leaked that it's Vice City. They're going back to Vice City. I always said Washington, D.C. would be a good place because they always reference it, but they never go there. But they're going back to Vice City.
Take me back to the beaches where all the babes are. Yeah!
I mean, you look at the map that leaked out. It's like, oh, that's lower half Florida. That's the Keys. That's a little bit of Cuba. Like, okay, I get it.
Cuba.
I'm gonna get in a boat, motherfucker, and I'm gonna stay in it.
That is what I do most often in GTA 5 is I go get a boat and just go sailing. It's like the people that go driving in the game, but I got sick of the driving because I can do that in real life and I don't have a boat.
I'm excited for GTA 6 because of Vice City, because when Vice City came out and it had all that sweet music in it, I would just get into a cool car and drive around the city in Vice City sometimes. Like,
hell yeah.
Shit.
That's a good afternoon.
Around listening to music. Because it was, you know, that's how fucking old that game is and how young I was when that game came out. And I was just like, man, this is so cool. I really like this.
That's so relatable.
I never thought that playing a GTA game would get me into the Alan Parsons Project, the band I hate.
It got me into everyone's favorite band, Flock of Seagulls. Anyway, this has been the Game Rescue Show. Thank you all for joining me. Thanks, Jesse and Seth, for joining me. I am the greatest host of all time and the best No Man's Sky player, Michael. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Go play Soccer Succubus. What? No, don't do that.